Hello, fairy finders and fairy seekers. Welcome to FaerieQuest and the Ask the Fairies weekly card reading for June 7th through June 13th, 2021. And this time we are going to ask the fairies if there is something specific as light workers they would like us to do during this week. So we're going to shuffle up a little bit here and see what the fairies are going to share with us with this question in mind. So here we go. I'm going to split the deck. And card 1. The Ace of Diamonds in its natural position. Card 2, Allegra, the Ten of Hearts. Card 3, the Sword of Truth, or the Seven of Diamonds. Card 4, the Necklace, or the Three of Diamonds. So we have an all red, all diamond, except for one, which is the heart here, spread. So this ought to be really interesting, especially with the necklace at the tail end, which, if you recall, we had the necklace last week in the club position. So let's see what the fairies have to share. Okay, so the first card here is the Ace of Diamonds. This is a very special card in that the diamond in the center is an extremely amazingly formed diamond. It is a very powerful diamond, and it is guarded by a dragon. And what is inside of this diamond is our souls. It is also a card that depicts the greedy, angry, evil money people who have been the ones who have created all this craziness that we have been through since 2020. And it's still going on. And what they're actually after has nothing really to do with the earth itself. It is our souls. That is the powerful diamond, something that they really have never been able to get their hands on, because it is our souls that hold all the memory of the beings that we have been before this physical lifetime. It is our souls that holds all the information about what we have accomplished and the talents that we have from all of our previous lifetimes, all held in that soul. And it has the protection of the dragon fire. And it is almost impossible to break, to penetrate. We have to come through that diamond of our own volition for these people to be able to do us any harm whatsoever. As long as we are within that diamond and under the protection of the dragon, we're in good shape. This card is very powerful because it is an action card. It is also in its natural position, and we are, as light workers, taking action. This is part of the card. However, right now, it is making sure, as a light worker, that we are protected individually. That's what an ace is, or a 1. It is about self. So it is very important that we take very good care of ourselves. Then we can move on to other things, but this is important here. Next card is Allegra, and she is in the position of a club. She is the 10 of Hearts, and as you can see, she has a blindfold, she has a bag, she has a bow and arrow. She looks like she's ready to take on the world in all different directions. However, as a 10, she's just a youngster. And that youngster, I believe, is a very young soul. These are the ones who have kind of bought into everything, hook, line, and sinker. And, you know, for light workers, sometimes we sit back and we think, how is it possible that so many people can actually buy into the untruths that have been being shared for like over a year, almost a year and a half now. I guess it would be a year and a half now. And it is these young ones, the ones who perhaps are just coming into a life, a physical life for the first time, and really have no idea about the history of the greedy ones and how they have tried so very hard to gain our souls in many other instances. So these young ones are ever so willing to follow blindly because they don't really understand the repercussions of it. And being in the club area, they are human. We aren't talking about superhuman people. We aren't talking about creatures that aren't of this world. We are talking about human beings. But as you can see, these young ones can be taught to take risk. These young ones can be taught to protect themselves. They can be convinced of the truth, and they will be willing to share that truth because their heart knows what is factual and what isn't. They're young, but they haven't had as many scars on the heart as those of us who have lived many, many lifetimes. So it is not impossible to reach them. They're not solid granite. Their hearts are still open. And when they see truth, they're willing to fight for that truth. Which then leads us to the Truth card, which we have had before, and this is in the heart position. And this Truth card is the spiritual truth. Yes, it has a great deal to do with what is going on in the physical world right now, but it is also the money that is a spiritual money, not a physical money. It is our inner compass. Our inner compass is very rich because spiritually we are very, very, very much aware of the truth, very much aware of the truth. And this is what we wish to share with the young ones. We want them to understand what spiritual truth actually is and what these people are attempting to do. And to do it, they have to affect the human race in general. So this diamond, this sword of truth, is a tough one at this time because the card has a warning that there is a time for the truth, and that telling the truth too soon or at the wrong time can actually be harmful to others. But this card, this truth, all of this truth needs to come forth now. It is very important that the truth be shared at this time. This is all a spiritual battle, as we've talked about before. It is a battle going on. They have not been able, the greedy people have not been able to really necessarily take over on the earth as they thought they could. A lot more fighting back than expected. So Now it's showing on a spiritual level. Okay? We need to make sure we fully understand the spiritual truth of all this to be able to share it with those, and to also realize that the heart is important, but our spiritual transformation is at stake here. Not our emotions, but our spiritual transformation, our ascension, our pathway to a higher earth, a higher vibration, is being blocked, or at least attempting to be blocked by these people. Which leads us to the Three of Diamonds, which we had last week. And all of the things that we have covered in the first three cards, this is what will happen. We are creating this necklace that surrounds the earth. And notice that the card is in the earth position. We are creating that necklace to surround the earth. And again, diamonds, it is the spirit, the light worker spirit. It is you as a light worker who is connecting up with other light workers, who is sharing truth with other light workers and others in general. Everyone sharing truth, especially with the young ones, so that we can all have the dragon heart that we're meant to have to fight for this earth and our spiritual freedoms. Truth is part of our spiritual freedoms. It's necessary. You cannot have freedom without truth. You cannot have freedom without embracing the truth, because otherwise you end up remaining blinded and going off of emotion only, which doesn't always lead in a good direction. Now, dragons are considered mythical. Just like dinosaurs, I believe dragons were real at one point in time. I believe they were the most powerful creatures on the earth. And somewhere, I'm sure, there's probably dragons in another dimension still. And they are probably still the most powerful creatures. So we want to allow our dragon hearts to come forth and to open up the hearts of these young ones, young to the earth ones, and to share the truth as loudly as we possibly can, to get over this obstacle, to not allow the untruths that are being told by the greedy ones to penetrate any more humans, because this necklace is growing, and we are going to surround the earth and turn it into a spiritual paradise. This is our connection. We have the power. We can do it. The more that they push, the more that dragon heart comes forth, and the more dragon fire and action that we take. We can't lose. With all of this, it's not possible to lose. That's why everything is bright and diamonds. It's all illuminated now. We don't have any spades or any clubs because we are not on the physical level at this moment with this reading. It is all powerful spiritual messaging here from the fairies. It's a fantastic message. They're letting us know that it isn't all about physical. We have power if we just allow ourselves to enter the spiritual as well. And if we work on a spiritual level, always keeping high-minded and high vibration, our connection cannot be broken. And they will never, ever get to the souls in the diamond. So that is it for the reading for this week. As always, take what you can use and just let the rest go. And if you haven't seen it yet, I did a necrophonic session before actually doing this reading. So if you're interested in seeing what the fairies had to say even before I did the reading, take a look at that. It's pretty fantastic. So until next week, take care.